Hello everyone, Vito's A32 back again with some more What's on Deck, your weekly Kickstarter report at the very least, and then if we have to do a separate video for other stuff, we will. So let's get on with it. Let's get on with Kickstarter. There's stuff to talk about. First of all, let's look at ongoing projects. These Lurchies, or I don't know how you pronounce that, from Newt's Playing Cards is 19% funded, 7 days to go. And yes, I'm backing it. It's not going to fund though. They have 3 different decks. They got a kind of standard limited edition poker deck. They got a 6-handed edition, which is a deck in which, on top of the standard poker deck, you get 12s, 11s, 12s, and 13s for each suit for 6-handed games. And there's also the card game, which includes additional suits. I believe they're going to have 8 suits in total, but at this rate, it's not going to fund. Unfortunately, I mean, it is completely custom artwork. It's not bad. It's not the most glamorous deck of cards, but it's a fun deck of cards, and it's colorful, and I don't mind when decks, add additional suits, especially at the very least that they make sense. I think it's kind of cool. But anyways, moving on, we got I think I talked about this one last week, the purple Forma from TCC Playing Cards. It is funded, 5 days to go. I'm not looking to back any TCC projects anymore, personally, just because I can just get the decks afterwards and with much less hassle. And my previous experience with their Rainbow Deck project was it took like 2 months to get it, at least 2 months before it arrived here from China. While you put the deck in the USB-C in the United States, ship it all the way to China, and then ship it all the way back to most of your backers in North America, it boggles my mind. And it just, Canada Post is not very good when it comes to international shipping, so I prefer to avoid it when I can. And I can just get these later on, no problem. Moving on, they got the Meow Star deck from Magic Square X Bookable, Magic Square and Bookable Playing Cards. It is funded, 71 hours to go. Get down and party, because everyone's got to get that deck, right? It's so exciting. Bicycle Antiques Playing Cards. Bicycle Antiques Playing Cards from Collectible Playing Cards is 40% funded, 14 days to go. It may or may not make it. At this rate, it's not looking too good. Most collectible playing card projects seem to be having a little bit difficulty lately. Next up, the Pollinator Garden Playing Cards from Kim Arnold is 4% funded, 6 days to go. Absolutely not going to happen. Dragonid Playing Cards from Emmeline Todd is funded with 7 days to go. If you don't mind the one-way back design and you like dragons, by all means, check it out. Abstract Playing Cards V1 from Zach Hakimi, which kind of confirms there'll be more editions, is funded 8 days to go. To me, that looks the kind of deck that I can pick up later on anyway. So, and it also looks like a million other cardistry type decks that are out there already. Speaking of cardistry decks, next you got the 45s Playing Cards by Mano Santo and Cesar Amasquita. It is 68% funded, 10 days to go. It may or may not make it. I know that it's been promoted by other projects. It's a one-way back design, and it's just cardistry cards from what I can tell. So yeah, moving on. What else is there here? Oh god, there's quite a bit of new things to look at. Planets Jupiter, the 5th out of 8 decks by David Goldklink, aka Vanda, is well funded, as you might expect, with 8 hours to go. Definitely worth checking out. Viking Glory Playing Cards from Kardec is also well funded with 10 days to go. Must have been a pretty low goal to be 638% funded. I think I was the Joker and the Thief Street edition last week from Joker and the Thief. It is 95% funded, 21 days to go. It's basically a black and gray, black and white version of their previous decks. The Bicycle Armageddon from Will Roya is 75% funded, 6 days to go. Let's get that one funded. It should be funded. It should be produced. I'm surprised it's not. It's definitely got more customizations and You know, it's better than what collectible playing cards, for instance, usually puts out. Um, which is usually modified standard core cards or recolored standard core cards, and usually like a recolored right or back. This is completely custom, so worth checking out. Then we got the Randy playing cards from Pratika Apaya, which is funded and 6 days to go. It looks cool for what it is. Wow, there's quite a bit we're gonna have to talk about. Good grief. Um, Green Dragon playing cards, standard edition by Craig Maidment, is funded. 18 days to go. Bad Girl cosplay deck by Heart of House, which is, I don't know how many decks they put out now. Looks like it's got, well, it's sexy women on the faces, and looks like it's a very bad one-way back design on the backs that says Bad Girl. And it's funded with 49 hours to go. 70s Racer deck, red edition, and I think there was also a black one, by JD14 is funded. 5 days to go. The Spectre deck by Dwayne Laverick, aka Delav, is 26% funded. 7 days to go. Don't see it happening. Good lord. There's tons of stuff in here. The Retro Inkblot Eye deck by Maddox Scott, 27% funded. 6 days to go. It's not going to happen. I mentioned this about a month and a half ago. The Casino Royale Refined Edition, there's also a second limited edition, I forget the name of it, by Bond Magic International, is well funded with 35 hours to go. And there it is again. Alright. Please let that be it for playing card projects. Okay, let's go back to the beginning and let's look at, thank you, loading more stuff. Let's look at what is new. First of all, we got the Bicycle Syndicate from playingcards.net. Funded, 8 days to go. It looks like some of their previous decks, and also like an Elite playing card deck, because it's from the same designers, Shapeshifters playing cards, and also Max playing cards, apparently collaborating with them. So that's interesting. That's a huge collaboration. It's also kind of interesting to see Max Playing Cards working with playingcards.net, whereas his previous projects were with collectible playing cards. So, makes me wonder what's going on there a little bit, that he's shifted to a different company. But looks like a nice tuck case and back design. Pretty cool. Definitely one I'll look to get later on, because we'll be able to. The faces, however, I mean, they're nice for what they are. But again, if you look at reviews on some of the previous reviews I've done on some of the other, I can't speak. If you look at some reviews that I've done in the past on some decks from Elite playing cards, aka Shapeshifter playing cards, including like the last playing card decks that playingcards.net. There's too many playing card companies out there. Playingcards.net, not playing card decks. If you look at the last, I think it was the last review I did for playingcards.net, which was a snake themed deck from the same designer, you'll see some similarities, particularly in the court cards. For like a modified vintage court card, I mean, they're nice. I do like it. It's one that I'll get later on. I do think these blank spaces should have pips in them. It just looks like a big blank space in the corner. And look at this. Case in point, that's a mistake. You see all these court cards, they have a pip in here. These ones don't. What? Really? I'll have to let them know that there's a mistake, unless somebody else has already done it. There will be 2,500 produced, so getting them afterwards will not be an issue. Because even if there's 200 backers, that's still going to be, you know, only a few hundred decks that they're going to sell on Kickstarter. Okay, so here they have the spades with the pips. It's just some kind of mistake there in that image. It's fine. It looks pretty nice. And definitely worth checking out if you're interested. Then we got the Lost Spirit playing cards from Triangle Playing Cards. 93% fun at 21 days to go. This is just another account for TCC playing cards, which I'm not happy with because you're not supposed to have multiple accounts. It's designed by Sam Hales, once again, who they point out did the artwork for the Carnival series. He's been doing quite a few decks lately for different companies. He's done some for TCC, and he's done some for others. It's a nice back design, and it's definitely a deck I'll look to get later on, from the looks of it. And it makes sense that it's black. Trying to see some more artwork here. That Joker, to me, when I look at that Joker, it reminds me of some Carnival decks. It also reminds me of the Blades from DeVoe. Just saying. It's not bad, though. And basically standard number cards. And is it going to be standard core cards? Of course, it's standard core cards. So yeah, I mean, it's fine for what it is. They did kind of simplify the artwork on the core cards a little bit. It's pretty interesting. And this is a deck they did before the Bicycle Dead Cell for them, which is okay. I wasn't a fan. I mean, the faces are all just skulls and skeletons and bones. It's interesting. I kind of preferred this Dragon Lord deck he did, though. Apparently, you can probably add them on here, I'm guessing. And this one was like a glorified ghost deck, as you can see by the back design. But anyways, moving on. It's an okay deck. One I can get later on for sure. Next, we have the Antive, how do you pronounce it? Playing cards by a company with the same name. It is 46% funded, 24 days to go. That image does not make me want to run out and buy it, but let's see what the cards look like, if we can. That's the back design. It looks the same as it does in the cartoon picture. I see it's got kind of a nature theme to it. Right. Yeah, definitely not feeling this one personally. I'm not even sure what the faces look like as of yet. Ah, there we go. Green pips. That makes sense. Modified standard core cards, or recolored standard core cards. Somewhat modified, I guess. I do like the colors on the core cards. I do like the green colors. I like the pips. I'm not really digging the back design, at least from these images. And then the Jokers are just bears. I do like that, though. They've put in a forest in the bear. If you look at it closely, you see the trees. It's pretty cool. But the back design leaves a little bit to be desired. It just feels like there's a lot of white space down the middle. The circle in the middle feels like something that other cardistry decks have done. Same with the diagonal white through the center. It feels like something that a number of other cardistry decks have done. It just feels like more of the same old as far as cardistry decks are concerned. You know, I should design one of these. Next we got Lauds, Traveling Carnival Playing Cards by Terry Dahl. And let's have a look at this. It's 16% funded, 51 days to go. My feeling right now is that it's not going to fund, but it is 16% funded already. But it's just so many times you get, I apologize, so many times you get these projects that have, 2 months or a month and a half or whatever for funding, and they usually don't make it. If the creative field needs that long to fund, something ain't right, in my opinion. Alright, let's see. Interesting faces, nice and custom. Carnival sideshow freaks, it looks like on the court cards, they're one way. What does the scorpion on the Ace of Spades have to do with a carnival? That's what I'm wondering. The snake, I get. The fly, whatever that is, I don't understand. And again, another insect. Like, what do these insects on the aces have to do with anything? I think that's a snake anyways. That, it kind of makes sense. Snake charmer. Um, Nice custom pips. Very cool. And I see they've incorporated the insects into those pips. Maybe it says something. Symbolic references. To find out more about what each character and symbolic references, go to the website. Why don't you just tell me in the project? That's something that should be in the project, in my opinion. Just saying. Oh, okay, it does here. Scorpion honors Egyptian goddess Isis, which really has nothing to do with carnivals that I know of. Cobra is often depicted spitting fire. The clubs represent the cycle of life with the sacred scarab beetle, and the bee sounds with the heart suit and represents the title of the king of Upper and Lower Egypt. Again, what exactly does all this Egyptian stuff have to do with carnivals? I'm kind of confused about that just a little bit. It's like they're trying to combine a whole bunch of stuff. And that's the back design. A one-way back design with a different pip in each corner. It says Lord's Carnival in the center. And one-way color scheme as well in the center. Thick borders. And, I mean, it's got some nice things going on. Like these corner details. But then a lot of unnecessary one-way stuff, in my opinion. Representing everything from locomotive planets, Egyptian pyramids, to a carnival ride. Okay. The jokers are, well, carnival dudes. I guess that's him. Yeret Lord, whoever he is. It's his carnival, apparently. And they're going to be printed by USB-C. I mean, it's an interesting deck, but I think it's combining steampunk, sci-fi, and ancient alien technology. Right. Again, a lot of this doesn't, like, it's called the Traveling Carnival playing cards. A lot of it doesn't really seem to have much to do with an actual carnival, so it's a little bit confusing. We'll see if it funds or not. We'll keep an eye on it, of course. Then we got the Muertos Illuminados El Curdo. I can't even pronounce that word. El Curdo playing cards from Agitcom. It is funded 26 days to go. Not a huge fan of a creator asking for more money on another project when obviously the previous one hasn't been done yet, but this is an add-on to that project, the previous Recurdo project, El Recurdo. Yes, I am a backer. Guilty. As you can see, these are the previous ones. Kind of green, red, and white. And this one is black. And now I asked the creator why this wasn't just a part of the last project, and he said it's because they didn't hit a stretch goal. So, they've hit a stretch goal now. How? I don't understand that. I do like the artwork. It is a nice custom deck. I don't like having to pay shipping for another deck that should have been a part of the previous project in the first place. But it is what it is. And it's pretty nice. It looks like a nice tuck case as well. Unfortunately, it is Noir Arts, which the quality always leaves me. It says it's printed at the highest quality by NPC-C. Yeah, that might be their highest quality, but their highest quality is by far not the highest quality of playing cards out there, because that would go to USB-C and Cardamundi, without a doubt. And or even Taiwan. But anyways, there's that. Then there's the Goddess Goddess Playing Card Limited Edition Poker Deck by Michelle. It is funded, 7 days to go. This is again from that House of Heart Show, of which there is another project right here. Where is it? Right here. Why does she need to do projects on multiple accounts is what I don't understand. Let's just have a quick look at this. So again, it's a horrible one-way back design. Just Goddess in the center. and sexy females on the faces. That's great. But why does it need to be another account? And it's kind of ridiculous. And nudity warning. My apologies. This is getting ridiculous. Let's move on. Think we looked at the Joker the Thief last week. Pretty sure. Then we got playing cards stylized by Handmade Sutton by Christopher Romano. It is 2% funded, 27 days to go. It does not look like it's going to make it at this rate. It's by Handmade what? One of the first decks of cards designed and styled freehand. I think I would disagree on that. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other decks that are designed freehand. And here's the reason why it's not funding. They have shown us absolutely nothing about what this deck is going to look like, at least not in pictures. There might be stuff in the video you see what he's done here with the ace and the 2. I don't like it because there's no indexes. How are you supposed to be able to determine what it is when you fan out the cards or hold them in your hand? Leaves a lot to be decided. That's a pretty big goal, 12,000 euros. And no idea who's producing it either. Barely he's got a standard edition, a silver edition, and a gold edition. And what is this? It says Edition Standard, Edition Silver, and then Gold Edition. Why is this in English instead of Edition Gold? It's kind of weird. No idea who's producing it, so let's move on. Then we got the Kelly Gang point cards by Pierre Hutier. It is 57% funded, 24 days to go. I hope I didn't butcher that name. Let's see what we got here. It's, well, it looks kind of interesting. Relive Australia's wild colonial days. Well, there's something we never hear about. Australia's colonial days. We never hear about that. I don't know anything about that. We never hear anything about that. Oh, God. It's printed by Noir Art, so it's kind of a turn-off right away. I mean, the tuck cases from Noir Arts are very nice. It's going to have gold foil and interprinting. Designed by Eric Saswanto. But the quality of cards just leaves a bit to be desired for me. The villains in the deck are the 4 members of the Kelly Gang, which are outlaws apparently, and also the weapons are based on the choices of the weapons of choice of the actual game. So that's interesting. Now, my question is, why not make these gang leaders the kings? They do got this kind of standard modified, well, not standard modified, but definitely traditional looking court cards that had nothing to do with the gang. And then the aces are the actual gang members. I mean, it's okay. And you see the names here. We got Ned Kelly, Steve Hart, Dan Kelly, and Joe Byrne. Who are 4 people I've never heard of before? Why do we never learn about this stuff? The back design, very thin borders, which are probably not going to be that thin in the end. And it says, such as life, with a gun. Right. I do appreciate the theme and the idea. I think it's pretty cool. It's different, it's unique. That's pretty cool, that helmet. But it leaves a little bit to be desired, especially compared to similar types of decks based on American history. From guys like Jody Eklund, for instance. It is going to be produced through a collaboration with Buyworthy, which is a Australian website for playing cards. A little bit pricey, 19 bucks Australian, which is the same in Canadian for a deck of cards. It does include free global shipping. So that's cool. There's free shipping in this project, but still it's a little bit pricey. And basically, It's not free shipping, it's included shipping. Shipping is included in that price. That's 100%, I would say. Anyways, it is okay for what it is, but it's not for me. Then we got the Angry Pussies. Pussycats. Limited edition playing cards. I feel dirty saying that word. By Handlords. It's funded. 7 days to go. I'm just not going to bite on this one. I'm going to pass on this one myself. It's not the name. I do got the previous version. This is a limited edition second version based on their previous released April Fool's choke decks. Only 14 days, says it's a must-have. Right now, they're kind of stretching this whole thing a little bit. The back design is fun. It's okay for what it is. I'm definitely not thrilled with, hey, let's put war guns on there. Let's promote that. Let's promote AK-47s. And then the faces, they're just very cartoony, and the aces are sideways for some reason, which doesn't excite me. And then the number cards are standard. Court cards have cartoon figures similar to the previous Angry Kitty deck they did. And then they got these gaff cards as well, which is kind of cool. I think it's similar to the previous one they did earlier this year. Was it late last year? Except for the aces are a bit different. I'm just not that interested personally. Then, next up, we got Clouded Paper from Elliot Slevin. It is 63% funded, 25 days to go. Let's have a look. To be printed by USB-C. No two backs are the same for water marble design. So basically, it's a marked deck. Every back design is different, which makes it unusable for Magic or playing cards. Well, maybe not for playing cards, although someone might be able to go, ooh, I know what card he has, just by looking at their back design, if you use them enough and you memorize them. But basically, it's not very usable for anything. Standard faces, yeah, that's definitely a pass for me. I would, and it doesn't even look that good in the fan. Look at that. I mean, look at these cards. They're clumping. Just saying, but that tuck case is absolutely horrible. Like, what is this? There's nothing on the front, nothing to do with the back design. It's just a big gray block. Really? Yeah, definitely a no. Hasn't funded yet. It may fund. We'll see, I guess. Then we got a project which looks like it could be an absolute copyright violation. The Dark Lords of the Sith by Dan Hainsworth. 85% funded, 25 days to go. I don't even want... Oh my goodness, really? That's the cards. They all have different figures on each card, not just the core cards. So every card's a picture card. It just feels like it's a Star Wars copyright violation, in my opinion. 300 GSM casino quality cardstock, plastic coated with a linen finish, poker size, custom tuck box, shrink wrapped. Yay. That's the back design. That is the back design. What does that have to do with Star Wars or the Siths or anything like that? I don't know. And the Joker, it is what it is. The more money I can spend on getting these cards printed, the lower the cost per deck will be. Yes, the lower the cost per deck on you, for you. So if you get $1,000, you can produce 100 decks. For $1,500, you can produce 220. But that doesn't change the cost for backers. $20 for one of these decks, printed by, I'm assuming, NPC. $40 for two, $60 for free, $80 for four, $100 for 5 decks. I have a problem with this. Actually, I got two problems with this project. Number one, estimated delivery, July 2018. Not going to happen, especially if your project ends in July, which it does. There's no way this is going to be delivered in July. Two, you look at pretty much any other project for playing cards on Kickstarter, the more decks you buy, the cheaper it is. You're not going to see somebody selling a deck for 20 bucks and then selling you 5 for 100. Never mind that for 130 bucks you can usually get a brick. Usually, let's look at the two decks for instance. 20 bucks for one, 40 bucks for two. Usually it would be like at least 36, 38 bucks for two in this case. Not double the cost. That's a problem, obviously. But some people have pledged for it. Nobody's pledged for the 4 or 5 decks. Go figure. Again, I just think it could be a bit of a copyright issue. And again, his delivery date does not make sense. Anyways, moving on. We got the Starry Sky poker deck, 1,000 Nights Waiting by X Zone. Sounds like a boy band name. It is funded 24 days to go. This reminds me of the boy band Boyzone. Don't ask me why I know about this band. It's just anyways, the bat design is a one-way bat design. It looks like it's cardistry friendly. The faces, yeah, not my cup of tea. It looks like you put them all together and you get a big image, which is fine and dandy. But it's just not for me. It's not what I'm looking for. A deck of cards. It's not overly usable for anything. For me, anyways. But nice artwork. It's designed well. It'd be a little bit better if you actually had pips on the number cards so that you can identify them better. But it is what it is. I'm not sure who's producing it. Does it say anywhere? The Pokers is designed by Hyperfine Hand Painting, an excellent color on it. The poker is unique and best combination for you. This looks like it's been written by somebody whose first language is not English, for one. Just saying. And there you go, Yang Yi. No, wait, that's the backer apparently. Warehouse located in the United States. They have a warehouse in the US. Don't know who's producing it. They are from Hong Kong. So there you go. Grammar on a project is always a good thing. Anyways, let's see what else, if there was anything else. I don't think there was. No. And that is it for Kickstarter, thankfully. Not a whole lot of exciting new things this week, unfortunately. A lot of weird things. A couple of good things. But that is that. Stay tuned. We will get into non-Kickstarter stuff in the next video. This has been long enough for this one. Comment, rate, subscribe. We'll see you next time with more. I apologize if it's very long, but it is what it is. I try to keep them shorter.